baby? How you doing?
Guys, it was a tough Christmas.
You think? That's probably great.
Yeah. There were a lot of things that happened this week to shake up the power rankings. So
I know.
I don't think you're ready for 10, Twan.
Oh, man. All right, so before you jump into 10, though, what I would like to do is sprinkle in a couple of the teams that I had just missed, which might show you who I have at 10.
Okay.
Seattle just missed.
Okay.
Especially after a win, but they did just miss. The Colts just missed. The Texans just missed.
Okay.
And the Texans specifically because I don't know when Stroud's coming back. It might be this week, but when we get to 10 and going upwards from there, I'll have an explanation as to why these teams are above the Texans, the Colts, Seattle.
My 10 is none of those teams that you just listed. Hope you guys are ready.
Oh, man, dude, you're going to put Pitt.
We've been rocking since the Sandbox, man. Stop playing with my dog, Scooper Steve. He the man, got plans, bro, to give him what you need. Hot damn, from the court to the field, they elite. I'm saying why, yes, got the hot takes and loose, stay checking. Talking about all the highlights from alleys to interceptions, from tutties to dope receptions and fantasy week projections. And honestly think you gotta tune in to get the message. Let's go.
Since the Sandbox fans, we hope you had a Merry Christmas. We're here for the Week 16 Power Rankings, baby.
Oh, let's go, man.
Big week in the NFL. I apologize for all of those who had suffered a loss this Christmas, a fantasy football loss, of course. And I'm still thriving in one of 3 leagues, put up a $180 in the Sandbox League that Twan will be joining next year. And I plan on doing a lot of spicy things with that. So we're gonna make it a 12-person league. We might have 1 or 2 spots. So you gotta be in the good selection to be joined there. Yeah,
now we're going.
But at 10 for the power rankings, I can't believe that Week 16 is gonna come around and I'm gonna put a team that has not made the rankings at all in the past 2 years.
2 years.
The team that I have in the power rankings at 10, the Los Angeles Rams.
Wow,
here at
nice,
10.
nice.
Look, I feel like they're running the ball effectively. They have a veteran quarterback. The defense is complementing the way the offense plays. They're blowing teams out at home. 2 great wide receivers, and they're just getting wins underneath all the noise. I don't think that this is a contender. But in the NFC, this is likely a playoff team. At this point in time, I would say that, and this isn't to disrespect your rankings by any means, but all those teams that just missed, I think the Rams are a greater team at this moment than they all are. Texans are going through some shit. Colts are going through some shit. The Browns are going to be at the spot right above them at 9, but it's like Pittsburgh's not good enough to be in this list either. Mm-hmm. So none of those teams in here. The Jags also are not on the list, Juan. So,
I completely understand that.
So, do you think that it's disrespectful for me to have the Rams in here over the Jags? Because I don't think so.
I like it.
Okay. No Tampa in yours.
No Tampa in mine. Speaking of a team that just missed, Tampa also is one of those teams that just missed. They're in a top 15 ranking.
I think I would have had Tampa above most of those teams too. It would have been real close.
Yeah.
It would have been real. Dude, Rashad White and Mike Evans are 2 of the greatest offensive players in the league 2023.
They really are. And guess what? You might see some of those names get sprinkled into the award show that we got coming up next. Oh, baby.
All right. At 9, I do have the Browns. I know it's Flacco, but the defense is playing great. They got to 10 wins, which is absolutely crazy. So on the one team you were right about, the shit. The
Browns. It don't matter. They can get beaten down. They come right back up.
I think the Browns are going to give somebody a tough playoff game, but I don't know if the offense will be able to stay consistent throughout in the playoffs. So I feel like that'll be my biggest question.
They're probably playing an AFC South team, though, and they can upset one of those AFC South teams.
They could. I think it would be interesting to see them go against the Chiefs round 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would love that because those Chiefs, man, they are fraudulent as hell.
Yeah, and to back that up, I have the Chiefs right here at 8.
Okay.
So this is the lowest I had the Chiefs all year. This was a team that I was saying, all right, don't panic. Don't panic. I still don't fault Mahomes. Like, yeah, the Josh Allen scenario, that was his fault. But I don't fault the games on him. I think that he's played really well. Travis Kelce getting 6 points in a Week 16 must-win game that they lose, not good enough. Rashee Rice, he played good. 12 targets, 6 catches, not good enough. And some of those balls were just like crazy targets as it is, but reel in a couple more of those. That team was down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's just not enough for them to be at the level that they're supposed to be going into the season. We're going to talk about the Ravens later on this list, and that's a team that's getting hot at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it's not too early, but usually this is the time where that carries out throughout. Rams at 10, Browns at 9, Chiefs at 8. At 7, the Buffalo Bills right above them, which is crazy to think that we did a Week 12 power rankings, and the Buffalo Bills weren't even on the list. And this was a team that I feel like everybody is like so flip-floppy on. It's like as soon as you give them the credit, they suck. As soon as you take away their credit, they put themselves in a crazy scenario, backs against the wall, and they're able to pull it off.
Yep.
The Buffalo Bills, I feel like, can flip that switch versus any team. But am I feeling confident that they're going to be able to do that with Stephon Diggs catching 4 balls a game for 60 yards? No, I don't even know if it's for 60 at that point. James Cook has played well, but where was it this week? You know, like it just so many things come and go, and it's okay. Like I get it. Like different games, people defend you differently, but I would just like to see a little bit of consistency for the Buffalo Bills to legitimize their contending title going into the playoffs. And at 6, right above them, I think that the Bills would beat them in a head-to-head game, but luckily different conferences, that wouldn't be the case. The Detroit Lions here at 6. I think for a lot of the teams on the back end, like we saw them beat the Chiefs, I think that they would have more offensive firepower versus the Browns. I know we're hearing rumors or potential matchup, instances for Wild Card Weekend with the Rams in Detroit, and I am here for it. I would love to see that. Twan, I apologize, but I would be picking the Rams in that game over the Lions.
The problem is it's going to be the Rams getting a 5 or 6 seed. I think Detroit has the 2 seed, maybe.
Okay.
They really could end it because division-wise, like the Eagles have dropped games in their division. They really could be playing each other. It's Rams. No, because Cowboys got the 5 spot on lock. Who am I kidding?
But that's what I'm saying. I think the Rams will get the 7.
I think the Rams get the... Oh, am I spoiling things?
I don't know.
I might be spoiling.
Rams might get the 7. They might get the 6. Like whatever the case may be, the Lions are still flip flopping on that 2 or 3, depending on what NFC East team and how everything works out with the 49ers. So that 2 or 3 spot, and who knows if it doesn't happen in the wild card round, it might happen in the divisional round, which would be even spicier. More on the table.
I would go. That'd be so much fun, dude, to watch one of. Because I don't want to see like the Eagles. I would like to see one of these teams that have, I don't want to say have no business. I'd like to see one of these teams that like would actually pull off a legit upset.
Yeah.
Not one of the top 2 that we've been talking about all year. One of the teams that just come out and punch them in the mouth. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
But going in at 10, first thing before I say that is I don't have the Jags in the rankings.
Wow, I love that.
I don't have the Jags in the rankings. Again, they're there with the Texans and the Colts in Seattle, but
they got smoked.
They got smoked so bad. And like their roster is so good. When I had them here at like what, top 5? Yeah. Top 4?
I'll take that 20 for the 13 wins.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I got it unlocked. Don't worry, I got you. I got you. Don't worry. But they went from 8-3 at that point to 8-7 right now.
Yeah.
Yikes, man.
I told you that was not a team that was going to be in that 12-13 win. Look, it was a great stretch that they had, and they were hot. But like I said, they were hot too damn early.
Too early, man. But at 10, a team that has gotten cold at the right time for me to hate on them is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
They are not that good, man. I'm not able to just say it's the Chiefs that they're going to be okay. Because they're not. Travis Kelce has regressed drastically this year. So bad. He has dropped passes. He's flopped. He complains. He's trying to get into fights when he has no business getting into fight. This guy has lost it all. Lost it all. Not a top 3 tight end, not a top 5 tight end to me right now. I'm looking at guys that are better than him this year. Coming in at 9, a team that would beat the Chiefs head-to-head. And they beat a team above them very recently, but they came within 2 points of a bad Chargers team this week, and that's the Buffalo Bills here at 9. So again, one spot above the Chiefs.
Okay.
But I do still have them here at 9. They're getting hotter at the right time. They're showing good. They're able to run the football again, but they're struggling to get the ball to their best player on offense. And that's where if you don't do that in the playoffs, you are not going to succeed in the playoffs. So it's tricky for them not getting the ball to Diggs for me to keep elevating them, but they're on this list. They've proven people wrong.
Yeah.
They've proven to be here. At 8, Steve, you had them low. The LA Rams are here at 8.
Wow, let's go.
The LA Rams are here
I
at
should have
8.
put the Donald jersey on.
My goodness. Aaron Donald's getting triple teamed and still.
I'm going to get it right now.
Go get it right now because I'm going to go off. Come on now. Clip that shit. Stafford, veteran quarterback. Going off, having a great year, still no looking and sidearm passing. You have 2 unbelievably talented receivers, one of which we didn't know until the start of the year. Show it to him. Puka Nacua, potential rookie of the year. If CJ Stroud misses more games, he might end up getting it. Yeah. Kyron Williams has come into his own this year in his second year. Cooper Kupp's played incredible. Higby started.
Cooper Kupp.
Come on, when he's getting healthy, he's good. He had his little 4-game stint, but other than that,
we'll talk about it on the award show.
But they're still winning games,
yes.
Even if he's not the top guy. But he is a great piece on that offense. I mean, they're playing unbelievable right now. They are red hot. They're red hot at the right time.
Yeah.
They are red hot at the right time.
Let's go, Twan. I was not expecting that.
Let's go, man. And at 7, I can't believe you have them in the top 5. Especially after 2 losses in a row. No, they weren't. The Bills' loss was pretty bad. The loss against the Dolphins wasn't too bad, and I'm not going to blame it on Dak like everybody does because I think the fullback fumbled on the goal line, but the Cowboys are here at 7. They have been in this spot for the past 2 power rankings that I've done prior to this. I think they're the same team as I had thought they were. Now, if they beat Miami, they're higher on this list. But them not beating Miami, they're the same exact team I thought they were 8 weeks ago. So I got them here at 7. You're going to think I'm wrong for having this team above them.
The Lions.
But they're 10-5. Joe Flacco's making them a good team. I got the Browns here at 6.
Wow.
I got the Browns here at 6. This defense is unbelievable.
Wow.
Even without Myles Garrett in on plays, they're still looking that good. The Browns defense is unbelievable. Joe Flacco is playing great. Even though he's got these turnovers, they're still winning games. Amari Cooper gets better separation than 99% of the receivers in the league. Like, this dude is unbelievable. And they're doing this with Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, an unbelievable O-line. I mean, this team, man, David Njoku, the resurfacing of David Njoku has been immaculate. The Browns here at 6, and that's because they're shocking teams, too. Who thought they were going to be 10-5 without Deshaun and Nick Chubb?
Putting up 30 points a game.
30-point games. Steve, if Deshaun were healthy.
I love it.
If Deshaun were healthy.
They put up less.
I still put Flacco in to start.
Yeah.
Flacco still starts for me.
They would put up less points. Joe Flacco might have just resurged or returned his career from retirement.
How much are the Jets kicking themselves in the nuts right now?
Yeah.
They had Flacco, and they let him walk.
Dude, that deep ball was pretty. That deep ball was real pretty. Swan slinging water after that.
Water. I'm all fired
up. I love it. The back end of the power rankings was spicy to come to the end of the season. At 5, this is where I have Dallas. I understand your reasoning. I do think that they're a wonky scenario away from getting home playoff games. Mm-hmm. That was to happen. That would be crazy and absolutely change the direction of the way that is viewed for the Cowboys. Not saying that would mean a Super Bowl, but likely a playoff win if that was the case.
Absolutely.
Depending on who they played too. I think that in a head-to-head game, road or away, I think Dallas's defense would do enough to be able to handle a team like Detroit. And I think that their offense is completely on par with Detroit's. I know Detroit might have a little bit more players, but I think Dak's playing better than Goff, and I feel like that would offset it for me. And that's kind of why I still had Dallas right above. Yeah. Now, I think the bigger takeaway with all of that is having Miami at 4. This is where I have the Miami Dolphins. That's a huge win going against the Cowboys, right? And I'm not trying to discredit that. It showed me a lot for the Cowboys. The Cowboys got a spot Cowboys stayed at the same spot from where they were in the Week 12 rankings. Even with Miami dropping 2 important games. Look, game versus the Titans, I'm not going to hold too much against Miami, right? Like, we talked about this with the Eagles, with the Chiefs. Like, we literally, the 40, we talked about this with all of the great teams. They skid those games, right? Yeah. But coming over to the next week, Christmas prime time, having an answer for one of the harder teams in the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys, that shows something to me. This is an improved Miami team from last year with all of the injuries that they're going on. Waddle hurt. Tyreek not 100%. Mostert's a little bit banged up, and something had to happen with A-Chain where he was just not in like the involvement of the game this period. I like Tua's approach to all of this. Like, he's just like, you know what, just keep the noise out. It's all good. And you guys heard my thoughts on Mike McDaniel. So Dallas and Miami, where both of these teams are likely to play home playoff schedules, I still think that they're in favorable scenarios, but are different than these top 3 teams. 3 is where I have Philly. Definitely wasn't a pretty win by any means, but it was a win.
Doesn't it feel like a loss, though?
It does.
I went in, I'm like, the Eagles lost another game. Wait a minute, they won, but they only won by 5 to the Giants, and they didn't look good doing it.
It does. It definitely does. But I do feel like there were some things that they were able to establish that kind of would get them on the, I don't want to say proper direction, but it gives you a different mentality and approach to the next week comparing a loss to a win. I think A.J. Brown was still able to cook a little bit. Yeah. I think they ran the ball effectively, which was great. Don't really have a lot of answers for the deep balls on the defensive side for the Giants, like going against the Eagles defense. I think that was like a moment. I still think that I view the Eagles as a better team than Miami, and where I had Dallas at 5, I think that this is where the Eagles should be. Mm-hmm. 2, this is where the San Francisco 49ers are, rightfully so, after having the Baltimore Ravens at number 1, the best team in the NFL. Mike Florio, I hope you see this clip, and I hope you know you infuriated an entire franchise and an organization by saying they're going to get the brakes beat off of them by the San Francisco 49ers. That's an absolutely crazy statement to say to a really good football team. The defense played fantastic last night. The special teams was unreal. Last night felt like a playoff game, and it was fun. But it showed us on the opposite side, the 49ers, oh shit, Brock Purdy, 4 interceptions playing against a legitimate defense.
No MVP there.
No. And I feel like that separated the case right there.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey is still in that conversation.
100%, but it's McCaffrey and Lamar.
Yeah.
Like, those are the only 2 options for you.
I mean, I told you a couple weeks ago, the MVP is Lamar Jackson. I feel
100%.
like Hurts is a distant third, but like that game didn't do enough for me to say like, oh, he closed that gap a little bit. It should be Lamar Jackson for the MVP. The Ravens should be the Super Bowl favorites going into the playoffs.
Yep.
They have to handle business over the next 2 weeks, make sure everybody stays healthy and injury-free. The 49ers, I know that that's a big loss. It's an AFC team, though. Me and my cousins were talking. We felt like whoever lost this game, if they were to see each other in the playoffs, might get the better of the other team. I'm dying to see a 49ers-Ravens Super Bowl. I really hope that that's the case. I will be rooting for the Ravens through the rest of the season, but
I will be as well.
Love that. I don't know if Anthony does.
I will be as well.
Especially putting the Browns at, what, 5? I don't know. Yeah.
6. But hey, damn right about the Browns here, man. Just saying. But, Steve, coming in at 5.
It's Pellegrino, guys, by the way. So chill out. It's not a Heineken.
Lies. Coming in at 5, Steve. The only team that I feel comfortable could put up 40 points a week and still somehow lose sometimes. Detroit Lions, though, here at 5.
Yeah.
This is one of those teams where when you play them in the playoffs, you better be fully charged to go. Because if you don't, they're going to hang 40 on you. And if you don't hang with them there, they're just going to outscore you even if their defense doesn't play that well.
They don't give you Vikings vibes from last year at all.
No, they don't.
You sure?
I'm sure they don't, because
they
Vikings,
give me Vikings vibes.
I think they're just better than that. I do think, and I think they just have more talent too.
Yeah.
I just think they're so full of talent on the offensive end. Gibbs is getting the rock again.
Gibbs is real good, man.
He's so good, dude.
I can't wait to share with you guys where we properly gave him an award in the fantasy award show, because this dude deserves it.
Dude, he is an absolute animal. he solidified himself as my third-round keeper. I'm losing a third-round pick, and I'm keeping him.
Okay.
100%, because I got to think he's going in second and better next year.
Yeah.
You got it, right? I mean, this guy is just going off. The Lions are up here at 5 because they're still winning games. They clinched their division for the first time in my ever, right?
Yeah,
For
30 years.
30 years. First time in my lifetime they've clinched a division, and they did it. I mean, there's no one in that division that's close to them right now. And they're going to get the Vikings again, and I think they're going to give the Vikings a beatdown again. It wasn't a full beatdown this time, but I think they take care of business again. At 4, exactly where you had them, Steve. We're going to be absolute dollar for dollar, like right on top of each other here. 4, Dolphins. I have them in the exact same spot. 3, I have the Eagles. Again, like I said, it just kind of felt like a loss to me last week, but it wasn't. It was still a win, but you got 2 teams that are just better than the Eagles at this point. One of them already proved it. The 49ers beat the shit out of the Eagles. They're here at 2, but at 1, it's the Baltimore Ravens because they're the best team in the NFL, Steve.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. The Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the entire NFL. They're beating up on teams. They just beat the Jags handily. They're beating them with defense, and then they go out there and they beat the Niners with offense and defense. Lamar Jackson's the MVP. This was the most slept-on defense overall in the league. The special teams is playing great. The offensive line's playing great. Gus Edwards is doing what he needs to do. Even if he's not getting yardage, when they give it to him in the red zone, he's scoring.
Yeah.
Like, he will score. The receivers are getting open. You have Likely that came back into play. The Baltimore Ravens team is the best team in the league. Jim Harbaugh's doing a hell of a job.
He is. He absolutely is. So, Twan, with us having, the same thoughts on the 4-3-2-1, what are some things going towards the playoffs that you feel like might be key for a team like Miami to be able to get more respect around the league, right? And a team like the Eagles over the course of the next couple of weeks, knowing that they have a playoff spot locked up, would be real interesting if the Cowboys do win, by the way, because remember, like I told you before the season, the NFC East has never had a repeat division winner. So that's going to be really interesting. But maybe just some thoughts on that top 5 and some things that they need to either accomplish or make sure is a focal point going towards the playoffs.
I mean, starting at 5 with the Lions, I think if they just need the defense to play better for them to really start making a push, because they'll go and score against teams. But if their defense doesn't hold some of the teams that can hang in there scoring-wise with them, that's where they'll run into trouble. With Miami, dude, I think they just got to get fully healthy, and I think they can beat any team on any given day. Just with the way that offense
at
rolls.
Home.
Yeah, with the way that offense rolls, I mean, it's hard for players as much as I hate the guy because he sucks ass. But Tyreek is a hard guy to cover. You get Waddle healthy, he's going to be a hard guy to cover. Mostert and A-Chain, if they can actually play the game off of the run again, they're going to be very, very dangerous. The defense is doing their job. Like, Jalen Ramsey's playing incredible. Javon Holland was playing incredible. Wilkins is playing good, and I know how much Ben loves Christian Wilkins. But Wilkins is playing great. I mean, they're just an overall really good team. Van Ginkel's played great this year. It's like, where the hell did he come from again?
He's going to get a max defensive contract after this year.
It's incredible. It's insane. Bradley Chubb, another slept-on guy. It's just the defense is playing incredible. With the Eagles, look better winning your games, and people will feel better about you. They'll be more scared because, like, the Eagles don't really scare me.
Yeah.
They're beatable, and they've shown that they're beatable. The Niners, they lost to the Ravens. I think the way to beat the Niners is you got to confuse the hell out of Brock Purdy, and he'll make the mistakes. His stupidest play yesterday was seeing that there was a flag called on his own team, still forcing a ball into coverage that got tipped and picked. Yeah. You could have thrown that away, you had the penalty, and then you go again to the next play. Instead, you turned it over.
Yeah.
Stupid. The Ravens, do what you're doing. You can't be right. You can't fuck up right now. Because let's go through their losses so far this year. It was a hard division game against the Browns. You almost felt like the Browns were going to sneak one this year just with how tough they're playing everybody. A game against the Colts where their entire roster was out, and they still lost in only OT.
And to just keep this in mind going forward towards the Super Bowl, if the Ravens do make it there, Lamar has never lost to an NFC team. Never. Mm-hmm. Never. Crazy. Sense of Sandbox fans. These were the post-Week 16 power rankings. We hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for sticking along for the entire season. Best of luck in the Fantasy Football Championships. For those of you that are still alive, the podcast will still be going strong. Me and Twan had just outlined our entire offseason to get us probably through the end of April to the end of draft time, but we had a basketball episode for you last week talking about the NBA in-season tournament. We have our Fantasy Football Award Show, which is a really fun episode. We hope you guys enjoy. Go and check that out on YouTube. You guys know the deal. Peace, love, 5 stars, nothing less.